أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين نحمده ونشكره ونستعينه ونستغفره ونتوكل عليه ونصلي ونسلم على حبيبه ونجيبه وخيرته في خلقه حافظ سره ومبلغ رسالاته بشير رحمته ونذير نعمته سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى آله الأطيبين المنتجبين الهداة المهديين المعصومين المكرمين سيما بقية الله في الأرضين. أوصيكم عباد الله ونفسي بتقوى الله وطاعته. I advise myself and all my brothers and sisters to having taqwa of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala and keeping the boundaries that Allah has set for us. وقال عليه السلام قليل تدوم عليه أرجى من كثير مملول منه. Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam says that doing little but continuously is better than if you do a lot but that makes you bored. The message of Imam alayhi salam is for everything. It could be for things that are related to religious duties, or could be about the things that we do in our daily life, to learn something, to do some skills, be it for our own personal development, or be it for work purposes. The message is clear that if you want to do something, it's better to do little but continuously, rather than doing something big in a way that quickly you give up. Because if it's too big, it's too much in one go, then you get bored, you get tired, you get even sometimes you hurt yourself in a way that you cannot continue, which means even though it was a big deal, but it was just for a short while, and after a while became nothing. On the other hand, the person who is doing little but continuously, with good program, with long-term goals and plans, that person is successful. We have seen that in our lives numerously. In things are related. Thank you much. Things are related to, for example, business. You see a person comes into business and they are so ambitious. They start doing big things and they do a lot at the start. After a short while, you see that they're not doing much anymore because it was just too much for them, or the big plan failed because they could not handle it. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam in this line tells a story about a person who was Muslim but had a Christian neighbor. So he went to the Christian neighbor, started talking to that neighbor and convinced the neighbor to become Muslim. Talked about the good things of Islam. The Christian said, yes, that's good, I want to become Muslim too. Poor guy, not knowing that what he's committing to. Next day, early morning, Fajr time, the Muslim guy goes, knocks at the door, bang, bang, and the guy comes, what is it, what's happened? He said, you're Muslim now, get up, we've got to go and do Fajr prayers. Make wudu, get ready, let's go. He says, okay, fine, I'm Muslim, I have to do that. So he gets up and goes to the mosque, and they pray, do the Fajr prayers, and he wants to get up, and this guy said, no, we've got to sit, we've got to do all these a'mal, and then basically ta'qibat as-salah, all the extra things that you do. So the guy does those things as much as he can. Then he says, okay, now it's time to go. He wants to get up. He says, where are you going? So, well, I've got to go, we've got work to do. He said, no, sit, it's okay. There's not long left until noon prayers until Dhuhr. Stay, we do Dhuhr as well. So he does Dhuhr prayers. He wants to get up and go. The guy says, where are you going? Asr and Dhuhr are very close to each other. We sit a little bit longer, we do Asr. He does the Asr prayers, he wants to go. The guy says, look, it's winter. Day is short. You want to go all the way back home and come back? What's the point? Stay here. We do Maghrib together as well. He stays and does Maghrib. And after Maghrib, he gets up to go. He says, look, there's just one Salah left. Just stay for this one too. And that's it. Then you can go. So he does Isha as well. So he's there the whole day in the mosque. He goes home. And the next day, the guy goes again, Fajr time, bang, bang on his door. He says, "Utlub lihada din man huwa afraghu minni wa ana insanun miskin wa ala ayar." He says, go and find somebody who's got more free time for this religion of yours. This religion that you have, you need somebody who's totally free. I'm poor, I need to work, I've got family to feed. So there is no point. This guy lost it, basically left the religion. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam continues saying, أَدْخَلَهُ فِي شَيْءٍ أَخْرَجَهُ مِنْ. He converted him to Islam. He entered Islam, and the same person caused him to leave Islam. Even if there was any thawab, because what's worse? Making somebody leave religion or bringing somebody back to Islam, that somebody convert to Islam? Which one is worse? That the thawab, that is more, or the sin of this is more? Definitely if you force somebody out of religion, the sin of that is more than inviting somebody to come to religion. Even though it's very important, but this is like killing somebody. If you force somebody out of religion, as if you killed him, you killed his spirituality. Of course, if you bring him to religion, you are reviving him, you're giving him life, but at least that person has a hope that one day will come. This one, you force him out of religion, he may not come back. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, sallu ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad, says, Inna nafsa malula wa inna ahadakum la yadri ma qadru al-muddah falyanzur min al-ibadati ma yutiq ثم ليداوم عليه فإن أحب الأعمال إلى الله ما يديم عليه وإن قل. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that our soul gets bored, gets tired, has a limit, and you do not know what is that limit. You may not know what is the limits or how much you can push yourself in religion. So pay attention, look into your ibadah, your religion, see how much you can handle. Because if you are doing something little, if you're doing as much as you can tolerate and you are persistent with that, this is much better. Allah Ta'ala loves this much more than when you are not doing little, not doing it religiously, like religiously in a way that persistently, and that's interesting. In English, they said religiously, they mean persistently as well. It means that you do it regularly. That's the right meaning for it. If you're not doing it regularly, you're not persistent with it, this is not what Allah loves. Allah loves if you do little but persistent, if you are regular with it. In English, they say, don't bite off more than what you can chew. Yeah? So basically, if you're taking a responsibility, make sure that you are taking the responsibility upon yourself that is easy to handle, and you can continue with it. In Nahj al-Balagha, the hikmah after that, the sentence from Imam alayhi salam after that is again a little bit related to this, so I brought that next to it. Imam alayhi salam says, إذا أضرت النوافل بالفرائض فارفضوها. Imam alayhi salam says, if you are doing some mustahab, you're doing nafila, you're doing something mustahab in a way that would influence, has negative effect on your wajib, then leave the nafila. If somebody says that, you know, I was reciting Quran until 2 a.m., or I was doing lots of like mustahab prayers, and I fell asleep and I missed my morning prayers, my fajr prayers. If I miss that, and that becomes qada, that means that I sacrifice my wajib for nafila. Even though if somebody says, no, I've been doing 100 raka'at at night, I've been reciting the whole Quran at night, the whole Quran is mustahab. Reciting 2 rak'ah of fajr prayer is wajib. Religion says you make sure that you make that 2 rak'ah of fajr prayer in the morning. That's more important than you finish the whole Quran at night, if that affects this, because this is wajib, and the one that is wajib, if you miss it on purpose, there is even a punishment for it. And when Allah has made it wajib, we have no right to compare these, because wajib is the different class. You cannot say that I sort of balance it, you know, say, oh, it's okay, that instead I did so much. Now that is more important. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says, similar to this meaning, إذا حضرت المكتوبة, here means like wajib, فابدأ بها فلا يضرك أن تترك ما قبلها من النافلة. If it's a time of wajib, if you have some nafila, some mustahab, leave it, go and do the wajib. Let's say you're reciting Quran, which is mustahab, is a time of prayers. The wajib, praying on time, is more important. Leave that and go and do your wajib prayers. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. الحمد لله الذي يخلق ولم يخلق ويرزق ولا يرزق ويطعم ولا يطعم ويميت الأحياء ويحيي الموتى وهو حي لا يموت بيده الخير وهو على كل شيء قدير. اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك وأمينك وصفيك وحبيبك وخيرتك من خلقك وحافظ سرك ومبلغ رسالاتك، أفضل وأحسن وأجمل وأكمل وأزكى وأنمى وأطيب وأطهر وأسنى وأكثر ما صليت وباركت وترحمت وتحننت وسلمت على أحد من عبادك وأنبيائك ورسلك وصفوتك وأهل الكرامة عليك من خلقك. اللهم وصل على علي أمير المؤمنين ووصي رسول رب العالمين، عبدك ووليك وأخي رسولك وحجتك على خلقك وآيتك الكبرى والنبأ العظيم. وصل على الصديقة الطاهرة فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين، وصل على سبطي الرحمة وإمامي الهدى الحسن والحسين سيدي شباب أهل الجنة وصل على أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والخلف الهادي المهدي حججك على عبادك وأمنائك في بلادك صلاة كثيرة دائمة. أوصيكم عباد الله ونفسي بتقوى الله وطاعته. I advise myself and all my brothers and sisters to having taqwa of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala and keeping the boundaries that Allah has set. وقال عليه السلام ليست الروية كالمعاينة مع الأبصار أو مع الإبصار فقد تكذب العيون أهلها ولا يغش العقل من استنصحه. Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam says that using your intellect and contemplating, using your brain basically, is not like looking at things with just vision, with your seeing, with your eyes. Because eyes can make mistake. Many places people make mistake by looking at something, but if they sit and think properly, their brain hardly makes mistake. You can get advice from your logic, which at the end is beneficial. If you are using your brain, at the end is beneficial. Even though it's not perfect, but that advice is beneficial. You know the story in Quran, the story of the magician of Pharaoh, the time of Pharaoh's magician. They what they did, Quran says saharu a'yun an-nas. They did some sort of magic but with people's vision, which means that we translate it as illusion. Illusion in English is a terminology that means that you see something but is not what it seems like. The different terminologies here. So you got illusion, we got delusion. Delusion means there is nothing there. So like psychosis, people who have different type of delusion, it could be thought process, or it could be something that they see which is hallucination. But it's not there. That's delusion. Delusion, a person has problem, let's say with mental health, or they got tumor in the brain, something is wrong, and they see, for example, a horse in the room, but there is nothing there. However, illusion, it can be due to disease or can be a normal thing due to tricks. Illusion, because something is there, but you do not recognize what that thing is. You cannot interpret it correctly. That has happened to many people. Many of us may have experienced that sometimes there is your coat, for example, on the hanger, and you think is a person there. There is a coat, it looks like a person. You say, oh, there's a person there. Look, oh, that was just the hanger. Like you going on the hot day on the road, you see in distance something looks like water, but it's not water. It's a mirage of water. It's not real. It's what we call a sarab. Or, for example, you misjudge distance. You see something and you think they are far, but they are closer. For example, if you draw two lines, and then on that two lines, which is parallel to each other, you start putting lines next to it like trees, as if they're a road and they're trees. And you make these lines that you put one taller, and then you make it smaller, 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 It looks like their lines are getting closer to each other, while their lines are still the same. You can do all these tricks, you know, with drawing and all that, you can see it. This sort of problem in our senses, in our life, can affect us a lot. You see somebody on the street and your vision makes a mistake, you think that that was somebody else. And tomorrow you come and say, no, I saw you on that day on that street. And he said, no, I wasn't there. Because we made a mistake. But we need to be aware of this fact that we may make a mistake. It's possible that we make a mistake. We shouldn't be 100% sure about anything you see. That's why when they want witness, they get at least 2 people for many things. Sometimes even they need more than 2 people. They need 4. For some places, you need 4 witnesses for certain things. Yes? So you've got to make sure that what you have seen, you have rechecked it, and everything is correct. For this, I actually went online and to find something evidence-based. I found the rules or the things that they apply to pilots. You know, pilots, when they are going with the aeroplane, oh, nowadays, okay, they're on better technology, so things are better. But the sort of old style, traditional pilots that they had to really do it themselves, there is a list of things that can make them make mistakes, cause for them visual mistakes. These errors can happen for different reasons, and perhaps we can apply these things to our life when we want to see the reality out there, be it for our relationships. A girls and a boy, they want to see each other and see the good and bad things in each other to get married. If they do not open their eyes and they just go based on what they think they are seeing, they can make a mistake. Many people, they get married and then after 6 months they say, I did not even see this in this guy or in this girl. Because first day you didn't open your eyes. You were looking at something else. You got distracted. And that's the thing. If you use your brain instead of just your eyes, yes, eyes are important, but then use your brain and analyze things and think correctly, then chance of mistake comes down. Or be it in, for example, in our religious belief and understanding. One of the things that I was the other day mentioning somebody is that some of us, we think in religion, we have been left to certain people to sort out the religion and bring it to us. Like ulama, the maraji'. We think, and many people, if you ask them about religion, they say, look, nothing to do with me. I don't know. I just follow this guy. I just ask that guy. I just go to our marja', for example. And we think this is correct. We think this is it. And somebody says that, you think, oh, well done. But this guy doesn't read about religion, doesn't care about knowing what's what, you know. He says, look, it's not my responsibility. I don't know what's in Quran. I don't know what's in Riwayah. I don't know anything. I just follow somebody else. In our religion, everybody in this sentence, pay attention, everybody needs to be mujtahid in a general meaning. In religion, everybody has to be mujtahid, but not in fiqh. The mujtahid that you know, the marja' or person you follow, you say at the terminology mujtahid to them, but you mean they are mujtahid for you because they are mujtahid in fiqh, in jurisprudence, in the rules of how to pray and to fast and things like that. And we talk about that, inshallah, about why I mean, what that means and why we can't follow them. But if you go to the book of Al-Maraja, go and open the Risalat al-Amaliyah, all these books that the Marja has written. The first section of all of them is about what? What's the first section about? Taqleed, yes? And one of the first things that it says is what? You are not allowed to do taqleed in usul ad-din. You're not allowed. And this is consensus amongst all maraja. Ijma'. Ijma' of all maraja, even Ahl Sunnah, even majority of Ahl Sunnah, they believe the same thing. That in usul ad-din, you have no rights to do taqleed. What does it mean? In usul ad-din, you have to all become mujtahid. That's what it means. In furu' ad-din, you may do taqleed, become muqallid. You taqleed somebody, you do taqleed, you follow somebody else. In usul ad-din, it's wajib on everybody to become mujtahid. What does it mean? It means either you're already mujtahid or you are in the path of becoming mujtahid. You are a student. You are a talaba. You are a person who is struggling to learn. Even in fiqh, some maraja, some especially old scholars, they believe you are not allowed to do taqleed. If you do taqleed, it's a matter of idtirar, is a matter of urgency, is a matter of desperation. Like what? Like you say, look, I want to learn and become mujtahid myself, and I'm trying, but my memory doesn't allow me, my time doesn't allow me, I'm a poor person, I've got, for example, somebody's got like 10 children or something like that. In the old time was a problem. In the Quran, there is an ayah, it's called ayah nafar. That this ayah is the ayah that allows people to go and become mujtahid and come back to people. Quran says, not everybody should start fighting and doing the same job. Some people should go and learn the religion and bring it back for us. That doesn't mean that they bring it back and they do nothing. They just feed us with their fiqh or with their ijtihad. Means that they bring it back and teach us. So we have to be a student. Which means none of us is allowed, and this is very important, my brothers and sisters, very important. None of us is allowed to say that I don't care. I'm not any of them. Everybody has to be either student or mujtahid. Everybody in religion at any age has to be student, has to be learning. Okay, sometimes you might say that it's not official. You don't have to, for example, go to Hausa somewhere else. That's different. But for yourself, for your religion, for your usul ad-din, you have to get to the stage to say, I'm mujtahid. I can prove there is a God. I can prove the necessity of having prophets and nubuwwah. I can prove there is ma'ad. I have reached this. That's what you need. We need to all get to that stage to be able to prove these things for ourselves. And if somebody asks us, questions us, we should be able to answer them because we know it well. And of course, for us, certain things are even on top of that because we take imamah as part of usul ad-din. So every single of us should be able to prove that Imam al-Zaman alayhi salam exists, that we should believe in Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam being imam. We have to be able to prove that. If we don't, that means that we are not doing our duties. Either we should be able to prove it, or we should be the student that is learning that every single day until that day. As a matter of idtirar, as a matter of desperation, we can for the time being say, look, he's trying to learn. If you're not in that path, because there's wajib, remember we said you're not even allowed to leave wajib for mustahab, let alone if we leave wajib for watching football. if you leave wajib for sitting and watching some movies, if we leave wajib for going and enjoying ourselves and getting some shisha or agili, whatever you call it, huh? If you are doing that, means that you have done your wajib. You've got enough time to do your wajib. Go for it. If I am leaving my wajib, unless I say, look, I've been trying the whole day for 14 hours, I've been working for this, 10 hours for my rizq and earning for my family, 4 hours for religion, and after 14 hours, I'm so tired, I cannot really study anything. My brain doesn't work anymore. My eyes are too tired. Then fine. Then sit and don't have, the shisha anyway, just have something else. Do something healthy. But anyway, then you can justify it. You can say, look, I've got no power anymore. My brain does not work more than that. But if we have a very relaxed life, some of us, we're so relaxed. You talk to some people, some Muslims, and they say, Alhamdulillah, everything is perfect. Why? Because I get up in the morning, I do my Fajr prayers, I go to work, I do my Dhuhr prayers and Asr, and then I come back home, I eat, and I do my Maghrib and Isha, and I go to bed. MashaAllah, I'm perfect. Really? We just said the wajib is to learn and be able to prove your usul ad-din. Can you do it? Bismillah. Sometimes we come and on Saturdays we ask a question. MashaAllah, everybody is here so keen to know what's going on. They look at me as if they never heard of these things. Sometimes it's like that. Because part of our usul ad-din has never been presented to us. Many of us do not even know what raj'a is, let alone being able to prove it. Some people say, you're Shia, you believe in raj'a, don't you? What? I believe in what? I didn't know. Tell me what that is first. And somebody has to tell you, people believe that Ahlul-Bayt, some of them at least will get resurrected, or some of us will get resurrected, will come back to this life. We'll come back and we serve our Imam, for example, or we'll come back and we're responsible certainly. Some people will come back, even this world, let alone in Ma'ad, in the next world. That's a different matter. All of these things are telling us that we have to be mujtahid. I'll give you the statistics about the pilots. Inshallah, I'll finish with that. Very easy to know. What's the biggest problem with vision going down? Low light. 70%, 75% is about not having enough light for the pilot to land it properly. Either the light is not enough, or there is low visibility, which is 70%. That's 75 and 70%, this one. Low visibility due to, for example, cloud, due to dust. My brothers and sisters, sometimes we have in our life, we are missing that light, nur, in our religion, in our vision, in understanding what is good and bad. Sometimes we're missing the light. That Quran says, Nurun yamshi bi. You need some sort of light to walk with it, to find the way. And that's obviously a big discussion, what light in life is in our religion. What is nur? What brings you that vision? Basira. What gives you that basira? That we do dua for it as well. One of the dua that we do, we ask Allah to give us basira fi deen. Why? Because you have to be able to see what is right and wrong. And that vision does not come to us by watching football match. Sometimes people have too much light. One of the problems with the visibility is too much light in their light. Some people come to you and they talk about things that is just too far. They've been exposed to something they can't handle. They tell you things, weird things. is ilmul, I don't know, some weird names, or Jafr. You know, have you heard of Jafr? Is a knowledge of certain things that some people may have. Or they talk about these weird ibadah that they found the dua somewhere down in another book, and they have to go on this particular time of the day. My brother, let's stick to the basic things, and inshallah we get there. You've done all, like how many of us can even do the nafilah fully, which is 51 rak'at in 24 hours? Who can do a 51 rak'at in 24 hours? Then you go and looking for some weird dua somewhere to do this and that. Too much light. Again, your vision goes down. Too much of exposure. Lack of practice. The pilots, if they lack practice, if they're not practicing, they misjudge the distance. So one of the problem is that you don't know what's far, what's close. Something is far and you think it's closer, you become too worried about it, or something is closer than what you think it is. By the time you want to react, you realize, oops, you're too close, and that's it, you crash. There is something called spatial understanding. You know, spatial. We need to have, in our religion, we need to have this vision of what is around us. We shouldn't be one-dimensional. Spatial means that you have 3D, you know, you have dimensions in your mind, in your understanding. In our religion, we need to have this spatial understanding. We need to understand the same way that we understand, for example, how to pray, and what are the rules of, for example, tahara and najasa. We need to understand those things. The same way we need to understand how to deal with seeing what's going on in the world. The same way we need to have understanding to know if innocent people in Gaza are getting killed. We shouldn't be stupid enough to say, oh, that has nothing to do with me. That person who says that nothing to do with me obviously doesn't know religion. His religion is one-dimensional or two-dimensional. Doesn't have enough dimensions. He just learned to get up and do that prayer and go home and sleep the same way. While if you do have enough understanding of what is the real religion, you know that a real Muslim would not sit quiet if he sees a zalim, a madloom in this world, an oppressor, an oppressed in this world, does have something to do with us. If you are a Muslim, that is your business. If you understand what's going on in your religion, you make that your business. You don't say, ah, that has nothing to do with me. And of course, sometimes the landing place is not correct. You know, the pilots, that runway or the place of what they want to land and take off, sometimes that's not the right place. Don't sit everywhere. Don't go on every site. Don't choose to get your information from any sites and social media, anything that comes. Oh yeah, that guy says this and that. Choose your source and the place of landing, place that you want to go and get your information. Choose it wisely and with open eyes, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا اللهم اكشف هذه الغمة عن هذه الأمة بحضور الحجة وعجل لنا ظهوره اللهم لا تجعلنا فتنة لقوم الظالمين اللهم اشغل الظالمين بالظالمين واجعلنا من بينهم سالمين غانمين إن شاء الله برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم أدخل على أهل القبور السرور اللهم أغن كل فقير اللهم أشبع كل جائع اللهم اكس كل عريان One of the things that they said now is becoming problem in Gaza is hunger now. People are suffering from hunger. Allahumma ashbi' kulla ja'i', Allahumma aksu kulla uriyan, Allahumma aqdi dayna kulla madin, Allahumma farrij an kulla makroob, Allahumma rudda kulla gharib, Allahumma fukka kulla asir, Allahumma aslih kulla fasidan min umur al-muslimin, Allahumma ashfi kulla marid, Allahumma sudda faqrana bighnak, Allahumma ghayyir su'a halina bihusn halik, اللهم اقض عنا الدين وأغننا من الفقر إنك على كل شيء قدير وصل اللهم على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم.